Hi everybody, this is Anne. Among people who create pottery, I think it's unanimous that we're all looking for unique ways to create texture on our clay. I know that I'm in that club, and when I find unique ones, I can't wait to share them with you. In this video, I'll share 10 exciting ways to add texture to your clay. The first one involves the use of a little strainer that you would normally use to strain tea leaves or orange juice pulp, etc. I simply took a piece of soft clay and pushed it through the holes to create these little mounds of clay strands that I think kind of look like tufts of leaves. Using a sharp X-Acto type tool, I cut the mound at the base. I think I'll go with the leaf inspiration and create trees. I marked borders on my slab, then placed the mound on the wet clay, placing a bit of pressure on the clay but not damaging the individual strands. I continued to make more little mounds and place them randomly along the top border of my marked clay slab. These little mounds become bundles of leaves growing on branches. Then I can simply take a ball tool and draw the trunks of the trees down to the bottom border line. And here are my results. You can see how the mounds transform into the leaves that I had imagined. And here's a design that I created on a little pot. That would make a great pencil holder or small vase. The second texture comes from my collection of placemats. These mats have really broad woven patterns and can be found in any department store or even thrift shop. Let's try this interconnected mat and see what pattern it makes. I like to push it down first with my hands, then a rolling pin. The weave is so broad, you can get a clear, recognizable pattern from it. This next weave is a bit tighter, but you can still get a nice pattern, and the bonus is that you can also imprint the fringe for additional texture. Now, this is a great circular braided weave. It has a great textile woven pattern, and look at that movement. This mat is very lacy, like a stiff doily. It gave me a great diamond pattern that looks like a sweater. Here's a mug that I created with that very mat. It really transforms the mug into a mug that looks like a sweater. I even gave the seam some buttons. For texture number 3, I thought I'd try something from nature. I found these wood slices in the craft store. I liked that they weren't completely round and the edges still have the bark on them. I thought I'd experiment and roll the bark edges across the fresh slab. Since every wood slice would have different sizes and bark patterns, I used the different slices to roll across the clay. It really creates its own organic tracks and patterns. And here's a cylinder that I created with the slices. I love the idea of mixing the wood with the clay for a very nature-inspired piece. For the fourth texture, you need to get out your glue gun. I took a little stiff leather-hard slab and traced a blocky design on it. Using a ball tool, I gently carved into the clay, creating ditches over top of each line. Here's one that I did earlier of a running rabbit. You can clearly see the carved divots. Now I'm going to make a stamp using the hot glue. I just push the glue out over top of the entire design, making sure I completely cover the ditches. I stuck a little wooden block down into the glue for a handle. When the glue cooled down and solidified, I carefully peeled it away from the surface and the ditches to reveal this new stamp. Now let's try them out on a slab of clay. The stamp is a bit flexible, so I still needed to push down on the parts of the stamp with my fingers, but when I pulled the stamp back up, I had the perfect little bunny. And there they are. I knew one day I'd really find a good use for all those little glue sticks I have laying around. And here's a mug that I created with the little hopping bunnies. I was very happy with that one. The fifth texture comes from using a garlic press. I started with a small ball of soft clay and placed it into the chamber. The press extrudes uniform round strands of coiled clay in bunches. Using my sharp tool, I can detach those strands. One way I like to use these strands is by curling them around and attaching them into patterns. And here's a bowl I made earlier where I created a border around the rim, then filled that border with the curled strands. Let's create a texture using some commercial glazes. I'm starting with a matte yellow glaze and a glossy clear glaze. On a bisque-fired mug, I brushed 3 layers of the matte yellow and let that dry. Using a small brush, I painted thick layers of patterns of swirls using the glossy clear glaze. I let that dry. And here's a piece that I created earlier that I fired to cone 5 with an 8-minute hold. The clear glaze lightens and glosses over the matte yellow surface to create this subtle pattern with a great texture when touched. For the 7th texture, I looked in my hardware drawer. I found this carabiner with a great shape and these rubber floor saver tips. Both have great shapes, and when pushed into clay and overlapping patterns, they create a fun abstract pattern that looks like it's from the 1950s. And here's a cup that I made with that same abstract pattern. Actually, it would make a nice gift for a hiker or a rock climber. Let's not forget about our ball tip tools. There's so many ways to use these. My favorite is to push the ball tip into the clay, then drag it backwards a bit to create dimensional curled petal shapes. When used in circular patterns, they look like flowers. You can continue with those little petals to create a cascading flower effect. Now here's a vase that I created with the flowers for another video. If you'd like to see me make this entire vase, check out the video link above. For the 9th texture, I've been looking for a way to use this engraving rotary tool with my clay. The tool comes in a kit with several stencil sheets. It also had quite a few bits to carve lots of surfaces from wood, stone, or even leather. The bits are easy to load. You just push the bottom into the slot and it holds it tight. I found these wooden blocks at the craft store. I penciled on a simple design, then used my rotary tool to carve lines into the block. I created 3 designs into the wood and 1 out of leather. The leather was much easier to carve into, so I created a bit more complex design on that. They work really well, and you can stagger the blocks to create different patterns. Now let's try the leather bee. Oh, I'm pleased with how that came out. I created a cylinder, mixing the bee stamp with one of the placemats and the wooden slices. For the last texture, I found this leather Overstitch wheel in the craft store. It comes with a couple of different heads. When I rolled it into the clay, it creates a very distinctive stitching line. You can roll it straight or even in a curved pattern. It really takes on the consistent pattern look of a quilted stitch edging. You may have noticed that I used that tool in several of the pieces I created in this video. It's the perfect tool to create borders. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. In any case, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time in the studio.
Naked.